Cecil Mott is our Oncotype rep, and some of you may know about Oncotype. Some of you know more about Oncotype than others. And Cecil ponied up for the lovely healthy food tonight, because we're kind of making that one of our 2012 resolutions is to provide healthy choices for all of our events and really walk the talk. So no more scones, sorry. You have to do those on your own. Erica and Annie took care of the organization of this, so you have to thank Erica and Annie because they did a lot for us. And they love our survivors/thrivers. When I'm done with this talk, I want to introduce you to some people who make a lot of this stuff possible, the board members of the foundation, and talk to you about some opportunities that we have for you guys in the future to participate and become involved, because I know all of you want to do something now to give back. And we have some things happening next year which we're going to talk about. And anyway, they're almost done getting their food. The way that this talk kind of came up, there's a fabulous woman who's on our holistic board here named Emily Jane Lamole. She's a very cool lady. She cares very much about holistic medicine. She's very connected with Westchester University. And about almost 2 years ago, she had given my name to one of the integrative health professionals at Westchester when they were doing a integrative breast cancer conference. And so I was able to go and do a talk with Olivia Newton-John and some other people. And that's where this talk came from. It was divinely placed in my computer, I think. So I'm not going to take credit for all of it. It's stuff just kind of showed up on my internet screen, and I used it. So, so this talk is called How Survivors Become Thrivers. And for those of you in the room who haven't had cancer, and that's a great thing, if you happen to be one of them, you've probably had some adversity in your life. And so you've probably survived something, some type of stress, some type of trauma. And it's that adversity that brings us to this place. And the reason that this is important is it's not just enough to survive the treatment of the cancer, because if you can't get to that next place where you wake up in the morning and you take a deep breath and you smile, and you get into that day and really feel it, then you're not thriving. You're just kind of existing. And you might notice there's another thing on the board there, Associate Assistant Professor of Surgery for the University of Pennsylvania. That's new as of January 1st. So I can tell you that all of those days of putting up with breast fellows and residents and stuff, following me around, and some of you have seen them with me, has paid off, because now I get to put that little tagline on my name. So we're going to start. Psst. Psst. So you've all experienced adversity somehow. For most of you, it's breast cancer. And I truly believe that it's those difficulties and sometimes tragedies in life that bring us to the greatest spiritual growth. And this is a picture of my brother. Very handsome dude. My brother Bart was killed by a drunk driver on September 30th of 1978. And that was that moment of adversity in my life. It wasn't cancer, but it could have been, because a part of me died that day. A part of my life that I thought that everything was carefree and easy. And, you know, I was at the time a senior in high school, and I was more worried about the dress I was wearing to prom the next Saturday. And it was funny because that was my brother, the last time I saw him, it was my sister Sue's 21st birthday, and we were having dinner at my parents' house. And, you know, I was young and very, very skinny as an athlete and had no figure really. I was just, and so I put this dress on and I walked downstairs and I was all proud of it at the table. And I think the last words my brother said to me was, "It's a great dress, too bad you don't have any boobs to put in it." And I was like, thanks. I'm sure I probably had some type of a signal to give him at that time when my parents weren't watching. But it was, you know, I laugh now because, you know, that's the kind of relationship we had. He was 10 years older than me. And the sad thing was I didn't appreciate every minute I had with him because I thought he was going to be around forever. And a lot of us get that lesson from cancer. And it is that adversity, and that was my adversity. So the adversity that I think many of you are here for tonight is because you've had cancer. And a cancer diagnosis is something nobody expects it, nobody wants it. And just like with my brother, I didn't know to say goodbye to that life that I had before. I didn't know that that day was going to be so life-changing for me. And for many of you, when you got that phone call, after you started to breathe again, and after you wiped the tears from your eyes, and after you got ready to call somebody and realized that you had cancer, you had some choices to make in your life. And those are big choices, because a lot of times it's easy to think about crawling up in a ball and sitting in a corner. And I did that for a little while after my brother was killed, because I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I honestly don't remember much of my senior year of high school. As many of you will probably recall, if your cancer diagnosis is a few years ago, that first year may be a pretty big fog. And you think, well, how did I get through that? And how did I actually drive my car? Because you start doing things purely out of routine. And so cancer does a lot of things. It changes your life. And if it doesn't change your life, then you're probably not paying attention, because you can't get cancer and have it not change your life. It does it physically, whether you've had a lumpectomy and radiation, whether you've had a mastectomy and reconstruction, no matter what surgery, chemo, radiation you've had, it changes you physically. And when you look in the mirror, you may not see the same person that was there before, but hopefully you're going to see the person that you can be and the person that's come out of it. And that's one of the goals of tonight, is to get you to that place where you can see that the cancer is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to grow emotionally and spiritually as well. It produces fear, and fear is the worst thing in the world, because fear paralyzes you. It grabs you. It holds you by the scruff of the neck. And the first fear that we all have is, oh my God, am I going to die? Because that's what that word cancer scares us about. It scares us about dying. And then it paralyzes us to the point sometimes that you can't breathe. I was with a lady yesterday who they found calcifications on her mammogram. And my nurse navigator got to leave early yesterday so she could be here tonight. And my mammo tech came over in a panic, and she said, oh my God, I don't know what to do. Like, this woman is scared to death. I mean, this woman hadn't even had a biopsy. She probably doesn't have cancer. It was the mere thought that those calcifications on her mammogram were cancer that gripped her into her chair. Like, she was stuck like glue to this chair, and she couldn't move. And obviously, you know, I got to play nurse navigator, which was a great job for me. And I got the husband in, and I had him take her home, and I had them set the appointment up, and she's seeing Catherine in the morning, and I'm doing her biopsy on Monday. But she's still paralyzed, because I can guarantee you she's at home right now, not thinking of all the other stuff that she usually would think about. And that's where, hopefully, I came in last night when I got to her, and I got to give her a little bit of knowledge. And I got to tell her that, you know what, calcium doesn't mean cancer. Calcium means cells are changing. But if it is cancer, your mammogram probably just saved your life. So you have to switch how you think about this. Knowledge is what empowers us to get to that next level. And that's why our healthcare professionals that work with you are so important. So the decisions that you make come one after another after another. And sometimes you don't even know why you made the decisions. You're not even sure how you made the decisions, because you were going through the motions. And when you have a team that works with you, those decisions get easier, because they help you get to a place where you can make the right choices before treatment, during treatment, and right now, most importantly, after treatment. So that's the first question you all ask me. Am I going to die? We all are going to die. And I wish I could change that, but I haven't figured out a way to do that yet. And now that we live on the 2nd Street Pike, it's an easy thing for me to say, you can easily get killed walking across to Lee's Hoagie House to get a hoagie, because sometimes that can be more dangerous than the cancer that you're living with, and we tend to forget that. And you know, my brother lived with a disease called Crohn's disease, and there was a big chance that he was going to get rectal cancer or colon cancer from that process, and from the ulcerative colitis. And you know, knowing that that was something that was potentially in his future really scared him, because if he couldn't fly airplanes, part of him was going to die inside. And so we know that we're all going to die someday, but we don't know when. And so if you knew, if I could tell you today that you have X number of days to live, first of all, if you got a short number, you would run back that hallway, you would go home, you would grab your kids, you would grab your husband, you would grab your loved ones, your support system, and you would spend that time doing something that really mattered to you. you wouldn't be sitting in here.